The Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has signed a housing development partnership with Shelter Afrique Bank to support the Renewed Hope program with 5,000 housing units in Nigeria. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, disclosed this at a media briefing to mark his 1 year in office in Abuja. Here is the report.
To President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the opportunity to serve, pledging to sustain the action plan developed in line with the federal government priority to increase access to affordable housing in the country.
Some of the key components of the action plan 2023 to 2027 are as follows. The first is the rapidly reforming the federal housing institutions to make them more efficient and increase their capacity. Increase the housing stock of decent and affordable housing units in the country to meet the rising demand. Thirdly, expand the implementation of the National Urban Renewal and Slum Upgrade Program to improve livability of our urban areas and slums. And streamline land administration and governance through the review of the Land Use Act in conjunction with the National Assembly and state governments.
The Minister, Dangiwa, while reflecting on the Ministry's achievement over the past 1 year, says the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has recorded substantial progress in our quest for the country's housing ecosystem, adding that in the coming year, the Housing Development Partnership with Shelter Afrique Bank will greatly reduce the housing deficit and allow for more access.
I am pleased to announce that we are set to sign a Housing Development Partnership with Shelter Afrique Development Bank. Under the partnership, the Shelter Afrique Development Bank, the Pan-African Housing Institution, will support the Renewed Hope program with advisory services and financing of competent developers. We are looking at about 5,000 housing units in the pilot. This will be the first time that the ministry is entering into such a practical and direct partnership with a multilateral institution.
In their separate goodwill messages, stakeholders in the housing sector express optimism in the government's effort towards providing decent and affordable housing.
As a stakeholder in Africa's housing ecosystem and leader of the leading Pan-African housing institution, Shelter Afrique Development Bank, where Nigeria is the second largest shareholder after Kenya, I have noted with great admiration the bold steps that the Honorable Minister and his team have taken over this past year to change the narrative and the landscape of housing in Nigeria.
Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, speaking further at the briefing, said the ministry has made a fervent appeal for more budgetary allocation of a minimum of 500 billion naira per annum for the Renewed Hope Cities and Estate program, adding that they are on course, saying the impact of the commitment will be felt in the coming year. Holina Adejoh, as a television news.